Yesterday we read the book The Relatives Came, and we went over key events like in the summer the relatives came to visit. They had to drive very far. When they got to the house, they hugged and hugged. They made huge meals. Then everyone found a place to sleep. The relatives stayed for a long time and helped them around the house. They enjoyed each other's companies, and then it was time for them to go home. So I made a copy of the book here for us, and we are going to go through and read each page one by one, and we are going to look for these key details, and once we find them, we are going to highlight them. So, Haley, do you want to start reading for us?
Yeah. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came up from Virginia. They left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite.
So, we already have a key event there. What is it? The relatives came. And that's one of our key vocabulary words we talked about is the relatives. And they came from where? Virginia. From Virginia. Good. Okay, copy. Can you read this page? They had an old station wagon that smelled like a real car, and in it they put an ice chest full of soda pop and some boxes of crackers and some bologna sandwiches. And up they came from Virginia. They left at 4 in the morning when it was still dark, before even the birds were awake. Okay, another one of our vocabulary words was ice chest. Does anybody remember what that means? Yeah,
a cooler.
It's like a cooler, yeah. Good. Okay. Excuse me. Bless you.
Thank you.
You want to read page 6?
They drove all day long and into the night, and while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses in different mountains, and they thought about their almost purple grapes back home. They thought about Virginia, but they thought about us, too.
Okay, our second retell is in there. Do you know what it is? Very first part.
Oh, they drove all day.
They drove. They would drive very far. Good. Okay. So they drank up all their pop and ate up all their crackers and traveled up all those miles until they finally pulled into our yard.
Then it was hugging time. Talk about hugging. Those relatives just passed us all around the car, pulling us against their wrinkled Virginia clothes, crying sometimes. They hugged us for hours.
There's our third part. Do you know what it is?
Hugging.
Yes. Then it was into the house and so much laughing and shining faces and hugging in the doorways. You'd have to go through at least 4 different hugs to get from the kitchen to the front room. These relatives.
And finally, after a big supper, 2 or 3 times around until we all got a turn at the table. There was fire talk, and we were in 2s and 3s through the house.
Okay, and finally after a big supper. So they've been making meals, right? The relatives weren't particular about beds, which was good since there weren't any extras. So a few squeezed in with us and the rest slept on the floor, some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with an arm across one person and a leg across another. So what are they doing now?
Trying to find faces.
Yes. So you can kind of highlight whatever they were particular. They slept. Just get the gist of it.
It was different going to sleep with all that new breathing in the house.
The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden, and they fixed any broken things they could find.
They ate up all our strawberries and lemons, then promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia.
Okay, so back on page 18, it talks about how, they helped them tend the garden, they fixed broken things. So one of our retell strips was that the relatives stayed for a long time and helped them around the house. All right, page 22. But none of us thought about Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together.
Finally, after a long time, the relatives loaded up their ice chest and headed back to Virginia at 4 in the morning. We stood there in our pajamas and waved them off in the dark. We watched the relatives disappear down the road. Then we crawled back into our beds that felt too big and too quiet. We fell asleep.
And the relatives drove on all day long into the night, and while they traveled along, they looked at the strange houses in different mountains, and they thought about their dark purple grapes waiting at home in Virginia. Okay, so those last 2 pages, what are they doing? What are those relatives doing? They're going back home. So what should we highlight? Also says they headed back. They loaded up their ice chest and headed back to Virginia. So we know they're going back home. Okay, Griffin.
But they thought about us too, missing them, and they missed us.
And when they were finally home in Virginia, they crawled into their silent, soft beds and dreamed about the next summer. So we're going to go back to page 1. And now we're going to read only what we highlighted. So what we highlighted should be the key points of this story, okay? Haley, what's the first thing you have highlighted?
When the relatives came.
Okay, so first of all, they came, okay? Was in the summer of the year, and the ice chest was full of soda pop and boxes of crackers. So what's the key point there? They brought snacks on their trip. Okay, so to sum it up, they are still traveling, right? Right. Okay,
They drove all day long.
perfect. My next thing I highlighted was that it was hugging time. So they arrived and now they're hugging. Okay.
Then they had a big supper.
So they've been cooking. Yep. And then they some slept on the floor, some with their arms thrown over the closest person, or some with an arm across a person and a leg across another. Right. So that's perfect.
I highlighted, they helped us to the garden and they fixed any broken things they could find.
That's what I have highlighted too. My next thing was that they loaded up their ice chest and they headed back to Virginia. So now they are going home, back on the road, going home. Good. Okay, so today we had the story in front of us and we're able to highlight. So this helps us better understand the key details, kind of the order of events. So